Hello my beautiful babes there, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, thank you so much for watching today. But in today's video, I'm going to be doing 3 looks with the Lunar Beauty Eternal Eclipse palette, as well as giving you a full in-depth review since I've gotten a lot of use out of it. So I have some feels about this palette, pretty much all good feels. So if you were interested in seeing all that, then keep on watching. Alright lovelies, happy New Year's. It is almost here. It is the week of New Year's when I'm filming this, and I'm very excited and hopeful and praying and wishing and putting good positive vibes out there that 2021 will be better. But anyways, before I get into this palette, if you're new here and you like fashion, makeup, beauty, and all that fun stuff, then hit that subscribe button and join this little family we got going on. And don't forget to click on that notification bell so you're notified every time I post a video. I do try to post at least 2 to 3 times a week. So anyways, here's the palette. If you don't know, Lunar Beauty is Manny MUA's brand. He is a huge YouTuber, influencer. If you don't know about him, I would be shocked because he's so big on here, but I think most of you guys know who he is, and he decided to create his own makeup brand, and he came out with this beautiful palette. This is the first time I'm trying Lunar Beauty because this palette spoke to me the most and finally sucked me in to give the brand a try. But I'll show you guys it here. Look at this beautiful packaging. Like, he is killing it with all his packaging. I don't know, who's ever designing his stuff is doing an excellent job. And like I said, this is $48. You can get this off of Lunar Beauty's website, and you can also get this off of Beauty Bay. So there's options here, and then this is what the shades look like. Oh, my palette looks so messy, but this is more of a smoky palette, but then it does have some warm tone neutrals and some cool tone neutrals, so there's a good variation. So you can do something quite bold like this or do more neutral looks with it. So you'll see me create this look as well as 2 others. It has 8 mattes in here. This one is a matte with a bunch of shimmers in it. It doesn't really translate on the eyes. If you blend the shade out, it kind of dusts the shimmers away, but I think if you pack the shade on, the shimmers would definitely show. There's just a lot of shimmer in there. And then the rest are metallics. I feel like the metallics have a little bit of a different consistency based on which one you're using. Like, this one is more on the flaky end, as well as this one, and they don't pick up as well on a brush. But these ones right here, like these two down here, are a little bit more smoother. You can use a brush to apply them. They're not as chunky, and this one is smooth as well. But I think they're all beautiful. They all look gorgeous and stunning on the eyes. And then the mattes are all very creamy, super blendable, nice and soft. All the shades blend really well. I didn't notice any patchiness on any of the shades, even like the deeper ones, and I just think they all kind of blend really nicely into one another. So I do think this palette is amazing. I mean, I'm pretty much giving you guys my final thoughts, but let's do some swatches and then we will get into the looks, and then I will wrap up the video for you guys. Alright, so that was all the swatches and my thoughts so far. So let's just get into the looks. Okay, let's get into look number 1. I did prime my eyes with the MAC Painterly Paint Pot in soft ochre, and I did not set it like usual. So the first look I'm thinking we should do is a neutral look, and we'll go from there. I know I want to use as much colors as I can in each of the looks, so I'm thinking a cool tone neutral vibe is what we're going to go for today. So I'm going to start off with Rose Thorn right here, and I'm using my Nabla brushes, the Ruby Lights collection. I'll link them below. At least I'll try to remember to. So let's start off with that in the crease. Oh yeah, this is a really nice palette. Okay, we're just gonna get that all blended out in the crease. This will be my transition shade. Okay, so I'm gonna go into the next shade, and I think I'm gonna use Summer Sky, and I'm gonna get a smaller blending brush. Yeah, this works. And I'm gonna use that to go in the lower part of the crease, add a little bit more depth. I just love how easy these mattes are. everything just goes together. You know, everything complements one another in this palette, and all the shades are pretty blendable with one another. So I'm gonna go back in with the fluffy brush I was using and go back into Rose Thorn and just make sure we still have that shade showing on the edges. So I think I'm going to add a little bit of Night Sky, the same little blendy brush, and just add that to the corner just to deepen it up a little bit. Ooh, that is very pigmented. You don't need a lot for sure. I'm just adding just a very little amount. I don't want this to get too dark and too smoky. All right, I think that is looking stunning. So now I'm going to do the lower lash line. I think I want to use this gray shade to keep it more cool toned and smoky. I'm gonna take this brush right here and use that on the bottom. And then I'm going to take a little bit of Night Sky on the outer corner, just a very little amount. I feel like I said it wasn't going to get smoky, and it ended up getting smoky. That's just what I end up doing every time. Alright, I'm going to take this little fluffy brush now and go back into Rose Thorn, the mauve shade, and just use that to blend out the edges. Yes, we definitely got super smoky here. So now I'm going to work on the lid and put on some shimmer. Let's see. I'm gonna lay down some of my NYX glitter primer and I'll be right back. All right, the glitter primer is laid down. I'm going to now use the shade Meteor. I'm gonna use that on the outer part closest to the deep matte using a flat shader brush. Yes, 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 yes. Just kind of have that blend into the deep matte that we got in the corner here. All right, I'm gonna go in with my finger a little bit just to kind of get some more vibrancy out of that shade. I don't think it's doing that great with a brush. All right, so now I'm going to go in with Antimantium, and I'm going to use that all in the inner part and probably also use that as my inner corner highlight. I'm gonna go back in the brush and see how that works on the eyes. Wow, that is absolutely stunning. I'm gonna go in with my finger now and tap over that. I'm gonna go in with this little fluffy brush that we were using before. I'm not gonna add any product, but I'm just gonna use that to blend the edges out. So now I'm gonna go off camera, do my liner, figure out something for the waterline and my mascara and something for the lip, and I will be right back. Alright guys, here is the completed look. It turned out to be a cool toned, smoky, neutral look. I didn't mean to go so smoky, but I guess that's the vibe I was feeling for this look. So what I did off camera is I used my Major Pleasure mascara from Nabla. Then I went in with some cake liner. I usually don't use these, but this is from Lunar Beauty. This is in the shade Grease. And then for the waterline, I used black, which is from ColourPop in the shade Swerve. And then for my lips, I am using one of the matte lipsticks from Melt. This is in the shade On The Go, which is like a nudie mauve shade, and I just thought it would be perfect for this cool tone look that we have going on. But that was look number 1. Time for look number 2, and this time I'm going to do a warm toned neutral look that's not as smoky as the look I just did before this one. So let's get into it. I'm going to take this fluffy brush. This is the Nabla Ruby Lights collection. Using it again. Eyes are primed with matte painterly paint on soft ochre. And the next look will be that as well. Whew, speaking too fast. Okay, so I'm going to focus on like these neutrals here and like these neutral shimmers. to show you that you could also do a toned down chill look with this, even though this is a more smoky palette. So I'm going to start off with Dusk, and I'm going to use that in the crease and lay that down. Is this like a beigey shade? Yeah, it's like just a warm beigey shade, and that will just kind of lay down the groundwork for what I want to do. All right, now I'm going to take this more little defined blender from Nabla. Like I said, I will link it below in the description for these brushes. And I'm going to go into a Sandstorm. Use that a bit. Just kind of, I'm going to build this crease up. But we're going to keep it as soft as possible. So now I'm going to go into Summer Sky. So we're just going to use all these brownie shades. I'm going to use the little brush that I've been using and just concentrate that a little lower. Okay, so now I'm going to take this little flat shader brush from Nabla, and I'm going to go in a little bit of Earthbender. Not too crazy, but just a little bit, just to get a little bit more depth into this look. Want to lay that on, and I'm going to go in with the little blending brush and just work on the edge. Use a little bit of that in the crease. So I'm going to go and use the browns on the lower lash line now. So I think I'm going to just take Summer Sky right here on the flat shader brush and work that on the edge. So I'm going to take a little bit of Earthbender in the outer corner. Use it on here. And then I'm going to go in with a Dusk and the little blendy brush and use that to blend out the edge down here. So now let's work on the lid. And of course I'm going to use some NYX glitter primer, and I'm going to do that off camera, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I put down the NYX glitter primer, and now we're going to go into some of these shimmers. So I think I'm going to use both of these two right here, and I'm going to start off with the Desert Sky, which is the more deeper brown one. And we're going to pick some of that up and use that here closest to the deep matte and create a gradient like what I normally do most of my looks. So now I'm going to go into Gold Dust. This kind of olivey gold shade is how I would describe it. I'm going to use that in the inner part. It has like a hint of green to it. I bet if you used a olive like matte in the crease, it would come out looking a lot more green. I'm going to go back in with a little fluffy brush back into Earthbender and just use that a little bit on the edge. Just make sure we didn't lose too much of that. So now I'm going to take this pencil brush from Nabla, and I'm going to go into Flare. And that will be my inner corner highlight. It's a nice like kind of champagne-y shade, perfect for inner corner highlights. To keep the look a little bit more soft, I'm going to use Earthbender here and tight line with that instead of using like a black liner on the lid, and just tight line a little bit so we look like we have a little bit of a line. And then we'll just kind of fuse right into the brown. Okay, that kept it simple, kept it more light, so I'm just going to go put some mascara on and put something in my waterline, and I will be right back. Alright, I have you guys zoomed out. Here is the completed look. It looks a little smoky. I couldn't help myself, but not like super dramatic. It's a nice warm toned neutral look. So of course I went in with my Major Pleasure mascara from Nabla. And then for the waterline, I wanted to bring some interest. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm wearing like this kind of wine color in the waterline, and this is from ColourPop. Right here, this is the shade Joyride. Just thought I'd bring some interest there. I mean, you could have gone in with a green one, a brown one, a black one, anything, but I just wanted to put something a little different. You can kind of see that there's like a wine color there in like real life, not as much on camera. And then for the lips, this little orangey moment I got going on is from Melt. This is the Ultra Matte lipstick in the shade Mural. Just a nice, beautiful orange color, and I just thought it would go with the warmness of the look, and I just want to use something orange in the lips. But that was it for look number 2. Let's now get into look number 3. Alright, time for look number 3, and yes, my makeup is getting shittier and shittier on my face. That's what happens when you do looks back to back. Just a light from the view right now. But I did 2 neutral looks, so now I'm going to go and get a little blue and smoky up in here with these shades down here, the ones I was most excited for. So we are gonna just jump in. I'm gonna start off with Smoke right here as my transition shade, and we're gonna get in there and put that all over my lid. I did not set my primer like I've stated before. Whoa, that is deeper for some reason than I was expecting it to go on, but that's fine because we're about to get real dark and sultry up in here. Okay, so now I'm going to go into Lagoon, and I'm going to use that on the outer edge and the inner part because I'm going to do a halo eye for the look today. So I'm going to tap off some excess and kind of stamp that here just to lay it down. And I'm going to stamp it in the inner part. Now I'm going to take the little mini fluffy brush from Nabla. This is the N205 brush. I have not said any of the names of these brushes this whole time, but I'm going to go into Lagoon and kind of work that into the crease too, and like blend out the edges here and kind of connect them. Alright, so I'm going to go back. I'm going to use this little fluffy brush and I'm going to clean it off. And I'm going to go back into the gray Smoke shade and use that on the very edge of everything. So blend everything out. So I'm going to now do the matte on the lower lash line, and I'm going to pretty much mimic what I have on the top here. I'm going to start off with Lagoon, and I'm going to use the Smoke shade to blend everything out. But I'm using this pencil brush from Nabla. This is the 303 brush, and 303. And I'm gonna put that in the inner part too. Okay, so I'm gonna take the little blendy brush, go into Smoke, and just work that on the edges. So now I'm gonna lay down the NYX glitter primer right in the center, and I'll be right back. Okay, so now that the glitter primer is down, I'm gonna take Deep Sea. I'm gonna use that on both outer edges that are closest to the deep matte, so the inner part and the outer part. This is picking up really nicely on a brush as well. And I'm going to take this little pencil brush. I'm gonna lay it on the edges too down here. I did lay a little bit of glitter primer down on the lower part too. I want to take a little bit of Starry Eye in the center, and I think I'm gonna top a little bit of Antimantium on top of that, but I also wanted to use the shade. Yes, that looks really nice in the center. I'm gonna take the pencil brush from Nabla, I'm gonna clean that off, and I'm gonna use Starry Eyed in the center here. I'm gonna take a little bit of antimony on the silver, just a little bit, like just so there's a little sparkle in there, and I'm gonna top that on top of that just to make it brighter. Oh, yep, that did the trick. Just go really light into it if you're like doing this look too. So now I'm going to take the little fluffy brush and go back into a lagoon and just make sure I didn't lose too much on the edges here. And then I'm gonna go up into the crease. This looks so cool. So I think I'm going to, what I'm gonna do in the inner corner part, I think I'm gonna take Flare. Yes, I'm gonna use Flare now as my inner corner highlight. Yeah, that will work perfect. A nice chill inner corner highlight. So I'm gonna go off camera and do my liner, figure out something for the waterline, and of course figure out something for the lip, and I'll be right back. Alright guys, here is the final look. I think this is beautiful, smoky, dark, dramatic. So what I did off camera was I used the It Cosmetics Superhero Mascara. I've been neglecting this one lately, so I thought I should use it. And then in the waterline, I went in with the LA Girl Shockwave eyeliner in the shade Fresh. It's just like a bright tealy shade. I thought that would be really nice to complement this look. And then for the lips, which my lips look kind of wonky right now, I went in with the Melt Cosmetics Ultra Matte lipstick in the shade Lace, which is a very cool toned grayish purpley shade. I thought it would be perfect since this is a very cool toned look, and I thought it would just look perfect with the eyes. So that is how I completed the look. Oh, and I did go in with a little bit of wing liner, and I did that with the Laura Geller Line and Define Dual Dimension Eyeliner. So that was it. Let's now get into my final thoughts. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed all the looks I created today, and you can see this is a beautiful, gorgeous, smoky palette. The mattes are all super blendable, the shimmers are gorgeous and beautiful, and I just love the variation in this palette. You can go smoky, you can go jewel tone, you can go cool tone neutral, you can go warm tone neutral, go and do a very deep smoky look. I just love the color options in here, and I think if you've been thinking about getting this palette or not, I highly recommend it. I don't think you would be disappointed with this. If this color story speaks to you, I highly recommend it. You're not going to be disappointed with the formula. Lunar Beauty has an amazing formula from what I've seen. I'm assuming his other palettes are like this, as I've seen great reviews on all of the other ones. So I'm really excited that I finally got a chance to try this brand, and I'm just absolutely in love with this palette. These are the kind of tones I like to play with. The packaging is beautiful. It has weight to the packaging, and I just think overall the experience was really pleasant using this palette, and I can't wait to keep creating more looks with this. And I just think it's an amazing release. But I hope you enjoyed the looks that I created. I hope this video was enjoyable for you, and if it was, please give me a thumbs up. If you're new here and you like fashion, makeup, beauty, and enjoy this video, then hit that subscribe button and join this little family we got going on. And don't forget to let me know what you guys think in the comments below, whether you picked up this palette or you're planning to, or just the things you've been loving on and how your holiday season is going. I love hearing from all of y'all. And don't forget to check out the description. I'll have the palette linked from Beauty Bay as well as from Lunar Beauty's website, as well as my contact information if you want to check me out on Instagram. I am Breezy Lifestyle, but love for you guys to join my Instagram fam as well. But that was everything, guys. I just hope everyone is doing well wherever you are in the world, and just sending you love and light. But until next time, bye guys.